So there's a lot of countries that are effectively run by scammers that take advantage of bleeding heart liberals to be able to push their any agenda that they want. And there's a lot of different kinds of liberals that are willing to help people who are asking for help in other countries. So it gets real complicated, and it's hard not to have to go through each individual case in order to explain it. But I just saw a news video icon talking about how the Houthis are protesting, saying that the U.S. help for Israel against the people who are trying to kill everybody um, is going to lead to a lot of deaths. There are countries that are literally run by scammers and effectively giant brothel casinos of criminals. They've already gotten rid they've already gotten rid of normal people and oppress normal people. In their culture, and this is similar to a lot of the cultures in the cities in the United States. In their culture, uh, it's normalized to think certain ways, and it's also normalized to scam everybody, everybody that that has eyes and eyes to see what's going on, and that visits those areas for entertainment or for activist purposes. Activism is a giant scam. It sadly, um, most people involved in it are just trying to get money from people. They amplify things that happen to things that happen that make people want to give money. But what ends up happening a lot of the times is people end up helping things get worse. It's like what was going on in the Ukraine and Russia. If if NATO didn't cause the problems they were causing for Russia, so that Russia felt like they needed to defend the Russian speakers in the Ukraine, none of that stuff would have happened. And the additional help of Ukraine is literally making sure as many Ukrainians and Russians die as possible. Where if one side actually won, the war would have been over. Because Russia's not looking to kill everybody. Just like Israel's not looking to kill everybody. And I'd like to say the U.S. isn't looking to kill everybody, but the U.S. is run by scammers and activists, and exploiters. So it's very complicated, to say the least. And it's not a problem that people can actually help solve, except by minding their own business. Because crying about what's happening somewhere else without knowing what's going on doesn't help. Screaming for people to do something when you don't know what's actually going on and you don't keep up with why things are the way they are, it just makes things worse. So what's going on now is the scammers of the world that have militarized and taken control of countries are effectively the modern day version of terrorists, because that's who's always been the terrorists. They have no problem killing their own people to make it look like someone else did something so that they can get more help, more money, more weapons, because the world is full of idiots that are sprung to action through emotional manipulation. And all it ends up doing is empowering bad actors. And by bad actors, it's people who play the social engineering game to take advantage of people in order to get what they want. So politics, even from the media's perspective, is not what it seems, because most people have no clue what's really going on, because they're just reacting emotionally to things that they think is going on. And when they rally people, they just make things worse, literally. So there's a lot of things like that going on. Countries like the United States and they just fall for it because they want to be part of things. They want to be tourists. They want places that they go to be friendly to them, regardless of the cost to the localities, regardless of how much of a lie it is and how much of a scam it is. The general public don't care about the truth. They just care about things feeling good. And that's the problem. That's the problem that needs to be fixed. So, and no one's going to wait for stupid people to wisen up before they start trying to save people from the people who've been doing all the scamming. So, the stuff going on in Israel has triggered the bad actors to expose themselves. The victims of the bad actors, the idiots that get scammed, they're acting up, but the stage is being set by everybody's actions for the future. And the future, sadly, is war, because that is what these activists are making happen. That's what they're calling for. It's like Russia and Israel are trying to defend themselves and defend people who are friendly to them, their allies. Russia was trying to defend the Russian speakers in Ukraine that were being literally driven out of the country. Now, I don't know about you, but even if you don't get along with everybody, you shouldn't be driving people out. You shouldn't be oppressing people. But activists don't care about that kind of thing. They care about what makes them feel good. And when your country is run by prostitutes and pimps and johns, everybody is your enemy, unless they're a customer. Because that culture is always being oppressed while they're oppressing and genociding everybody else. And until people wake up to that dynamic, things aren't going to get better. It's just going to seem like it's getting worse. But people need to be defended from the bad people, the people who are just bad, people who effectively have kidnapped whole groups of people into giant cults, basically. So, and there's a lot of people who don't know the difference, but they still get involved anyways. They still take sides. They don't know what they're doing. But their actions are violent and dangerous, and people need to be able to defend themselves against them, even if they're wrong. Because if you can't argue against what someone's doing because they're being violent, what are you supposed to do? Sit there and let them destroy you because they don't know any better? How do you solve that problem? If people don't know any better, but they're making things worse, how do you solve that? They won't listen. They're set in their ideas, in the brainwashing that they've been put under, by the scamming groups that have fed them information to make them do what they want. What do? You can try to disarm them, take away their power over others, like, say, with a republic, because that's what the original Constitution was designed for, was to protect everybody from each other and people who collect power over large masses of people. So, anyways, 10 minutes. Love you all. Good luck.